Hello.
Hey, hey, hey. Good
Welcome,
morning.
everyone. Wow, we got a few people watching.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us. Must be some of your
Thank
family.
you. Maybe.
Um, so excited to have you here, Darren. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, this is my show called Filipino Hustle Fridays. And I love to interview creators, entrepreneurs, especially Filipino Americans, Filipinos abroad, to talk about their story and why they got started. So, just a brief introduction of Darren, and I'm sure he'll do a better job at introducing himself, and we'll dive in. So, he hails from a Filipino home in Jacksonville. Shout out to Jacksonville. And
Duval.
UF alum. And then you are
Hmm.
currently now in Tampa, and you have a day job working for NBC Universal. And you are
Yes.
also a veteran. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now also owner of Food People Love, co-founded with his lovely wife. Sorry she couldn't join us today, but
Yes.
thanks for hopping on,
Thank you.
Darren. Happy to have you on.
Thank you so much, Julia. Appreciate the intro. Like you said, kind of earlier we met. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here and the opportunity to talk about food people love and I guess a little bit of my story and journey. And yeah, this is really cool. I am a little nervous as I had shared, but just being honest. But it's first time doing this, but it's really cool to be able to be invited to come on your show. And yeah, I'm very very grateful. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Shake it off. There's no mistakes here.
Whew,
It's all,
that's good.
it's
All right,
gonna
yeah.
be, and even if it is, we'll have bloopers. Like that. That's what makes it
There we
even
go.
better. Um, but yeah, no. Like, let me know too. I have several pictures pulled up. I would love to show these awesome pictures that you shared with me. And then, of course, I have like several slides just to pull up some examples of what you and your wife have been doing. And so,
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
awesome.
Feel free to
Let's
talk
let's do
about.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to share photos because I feel like I do a lot better with visuals. So just kind of a little bit of my journey. As Julie said, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I was born and raised to a Filipino family. Up there in the top left is my is me and most of my siblings. Um, Florida kid, Filipino American. Just added like little shots of I don't know what it was like. I guess some people call it manifesting, but just like being a Gator, Gator fan from a young age. But yeah, those are my parents in the middle. You can see us at in our barongs and our Filipino wear, and that was some old party. And so I was just like, that's a really cool little shot to just kind of be around them. Yeah, my dad was a chef for over 30 years, and so being classically trained, and so growing up around a lot of good food, and my mom was just a Filipino mom, so just the kitchen was always popping. So we always grew up around good food, and I would say I was also spoiled a lot. So and it affected my late learning on how to cook. So I had to learn hard, once I moved out the house. So yeah, this slide is about a little bit of my journey, or at least my roots in the military. I was my dad on the left side in the Navy, as many of our fathers and uncles, back in the day, that was their pathway to get to the United States. And so being able to see pictures of him and his service from back in the day was, it's always been rooted in my heart. And so that, along with my brother joining the Air Force when he got out of high school, and so this picture of me and him in the middle is one of my favorite photos
Oh,
because
adorable.
it explains our childhood relationship to the T, just like a little brother. And then on the right side is a picture of him, my brother Steven, graduating from basic military training back when I don't know, what do I look like there, 12 or something? And so seeing the stark contrast between him when we were young, jits, we like to say, like growing up, to him growing up and just becoming a military man. Just something was about that, just so interesting to me. It marked me. And so these are photos of me kind of jumping into eventually the Air Force world. On the left side, top left, is me in ROTC. with our instructor, Master Dodi, and just how big of he was of an influence in my life as a mentor, and just kind of how the military kind of gave me opportunities. Without the Air Force, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to go to college, at least pay for college, and so I'm super grateful for that journey. And what's up, nephew?
That's so awesome.
That's my nephew.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Well, that's cool. I like this. Yeah, keep talking to me. I'll keep talking to me.
Like, Dominic, that's my uncle making me proud. Yeah, we got a loyal audience here. It's
Hey.
I think this is the most people watching live for me.
Let's go. Awesome. Keep it going.
Awesome.
But yeah, ROTC high school into college ROTC at the University of Florida. Yeah, that was just, you know, from family into hey, family into school, into college. And then that's where I met my beautiful bride in the bottom right. That's Danessa. Hey.
Wow, that's awesome.
And so, yeah, that was me when I first put on second lieutenant, a young LT butter bars, as we like to say. LT, they say you can't spell lost without LT. I embraced it because, you know, we are young, new officers called the lead. And so walking in that position, no matter who you are, whatever job field, you walk in with humility and just acceptance that you don't know everything, but you're trained to be here and to learn. And so you lean on your senior NCOs, your senior enlisted leaders, your fellow officers, and just do what you got to do to take care of your people. And so I guess final slides. I think there's two slides. Yeah, so these are just some shots from the really cool opportunities I've had being deployed and in training scenarios. Yeah, everyone think that's me. It's not me, but that would be cool. I'm not that cool. And I don't know if I would ever do that, but that is off the back of a plane, C-130 with the doors open. And so my airmen, as you can see, we take photos and videos, combat camera. Our mission is to document what's going on in the Department of Defense and around the world, just to tell the story of what the DoD is doing. Mm-hmm. And so I work with a lot of amazing photographers, videographers, designers, artists, in capturing the story of what's going on out there. And so that takes us out to some really cool places. You know, this bottom right shot is me shooting an exercise in Nairobi, Kenya, working with the Kenyan Air Force. So that was really cool. The next slide is a little bit more of the fun side of I guess, my military journey. I'm a firm believer that, like, not everything has to be super serious. Obviously, it's a professional environment, and what we do in the military is very serious. And you know, a lot of people work in a lot of high risk environments, but because of that, I think stress levels can be very high, you know, in the military, in the places we work. And so I think God put me on this earth to really just share His joy and love, and just create smiles, you know, all around. And so I love positive workplaces and cultures and places where people can feel like they belong. And yeah, just really help people to feel, you know, full of purpose and joy in what they do, and that, hey, you belong here and you're part of my team. Let's do this together. And so yeah, that's always been, I feel like, a calling over my life in military, civilian workforce, communities, friendship, family, and always learning and growing and just trying to figure out how to be obedient to that. And then, sorry, one more slide, I think at the bottom. And so this is kind of where we're at, my wife and I. So Danessa, my wife, we got married in 2015, right out of college, so very young, broke college kids, joining the Air Force, me joining the Air Force, her being an amazing military spouse and sacrificing so much for our family, to move with me from Colorado to Charleston, South Carolina, and to just jump on this adventure together. As we moved, that really, I think, expanded our palettes, our cultural palettes. Like, hey, trying new things. Okay, like, we're working professionals now. We got a little money in our pockets. Like, we can go try things and travel. And so that really put the travel bug in us. So yeah, being able to travel different countries. One of the photos was in Greece.
Cool.
And so, yeah, just we love food, we love flavor, and we love just having fun and being able to live life abundantly as much as we can through the journey of marriage and the journey of uh, yeah, of just being on this earth.
Life,
So yeah, when life is life, and you know what I mean.
adulting. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Oh, right.
adulting.
hmm
You're doing amazing. And for people who joined us, thank you so much. You got so many people supporting you. I shared the comments throughout the, like Heather, Darlene, and
Hey,
Matthew, Mike. Mike showed up. Thank you. So
what's up, y'all?
yeah. And if they have questions, they can ask too. They can share it in the comments. And I know it looks like you were a training and readiness program manager at the U.S. Air Force Reserve, and then also previously served as a combat camera team lead in the USAF. And so, like, did you always want to go into the military when you were young?
I think those seeds were planted at a young age, and then growing up in Jacksonville, Florida, you're around a lot of like Navy, retired Navy Filipinos, families like born out of that. And so
Wow.
I've always known about so many of my friends like, oh, like, yeah, my dad was in the Navy, my mom served or something. But I don't think it really happened until my brother went to graduate from his boot camp, and I just saw him, and I remember like in my mind, all my memories of him were I was like, oh, like big brother, like we're always like butting heads and all that kind of stuff, and and sorry, and so I saw him running, I saw him jogging in formation. His head was shaved. He had the big old they call them like the BMT goggles. Like if you wear glasses, you wear those big like ugly things. And they're jogging, and it's like dead of winter in San Antonio, Texas, like freezing. I just remember like he was like stoic and like disciplined. I was like everything that I feel like he wasn't. You know what I mean? Growing up, and so
Opposite. That's so
yeah,
fun.
and just seeing that, I was like, what happened to my big brother? And so fast forward just a few years getting into high school at Sandalwood High School, junior ROTC, shout out FL939. But they run a really good program there, and he was in it in high school, and then I was like, I'm going to do it too, and that ended up becoming my world, from drill teams to helping out with the team lead stuff, like a lot of stuff. I feel like what Kate like what's a good word? A lot of stuff like really came to the surface in me. I think that were innate, like from leadership and just passionate about team leading and teamwork and collaboration, all that kind of stuff. And so that, like from high school, it was just like that was a trajectory of junior ROTC, Air Force, junior ROTC, Air Force, ROTC in college, and then eventually commissioning into active duty. So
yeah. So I didn't follow the sequence as far as like when you went to UF. Was that before the military or after?
Yeah, so I went to UF from 2010 to 2014, and in order to commission into the active duty Air Force as an officer, you have to go through ROTC, and so I got my commission in during those years to become a lieutenant. So it was right before. It's like graduation, then kind of right into the Air Force.
Heather has a good question for you, and like because obviously you have many different talents and really cool background. Well, obviously just to mention, like UF is the #1 university in the state of Florida, so it's not the easiest university to get in. So that's really impressive, and also one of the top public universities in the country. So that's pretty amazing. I'm sure.
Big shout out. Yeah, yeah. I'm super grateful for the years I had at the University of Florida. Met amazing people. Obviously, my best friend, my wife. There she is. There she is. She's commenting. There she is.
So you met, like, I'm guessing she's UF grad too.
She is. Yeah. She's the smart one. She graduated. She's STEM. She's engineer, material science. Like she got it going on. She like brain, you know what I mean? And I'm like opposite of STEM. So I like my histories and English, and I graduated with an English degree focused in film. And It was the path of least math, I like to say. So struggled through my one liberal arts math class. But no, I think we make a good team because she's just incredible. Got so many just strengths that I don't have, and so but yeah, that's where we met, and I don't remember what the
Then
question was.
what would yeah no, I was gonna say, so what would you say then is a secret talent of yours? You know, Heather.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you so much.
That's not the easiest question to answer.
I started laughing when you asked me about my brother because I saw that comment. I just laughed. I was like,
Yeah.
I did not know what to say. My secret talent. I can recite the keyboard letters in order.
That is
Yeah.
that's unique.
I'm covering my keyboard if you want me to show you.
Okay.
QWERTY I.
You skipped one. You
Wait,
skipped one.
QWERTY UIOP ASDFG ZXCV. Wait.
That's
BNM?
the next one over.
Oh shoot! Wait.
You're still doing amazing.
No! Okay. Where do you go? Oh, ASDFG HJKL ZXCV BNM. Come on.
That's awesome.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't know anyone else who could do most of those letters at all, or for the life of me, like recall. But yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. Did you see your friend Noldy hopped on and said what it's on?
He did. That's my brother-in-law. I appreciate that.
Awesome. And I saw okay. Well, it's funny because I saw on the website Danessa that she has a Haitian background.
She is Haitian American, first gen Haitian.
Yeah, my husband is Haitian Jamaican.
Are you for real? Whoa.
And we always get compliments about our kids. So just saying, you guys are probably gonna have beautiful kids.
That, baby?
No pressure. No pressure. She's like, whoa,
it's no pressure. We've been hearing it since day one. It's okay.
So yeah, Danessa, we missed you. Next time.
Hey, come in if you want. Hey, come in.
Okay, but yeah, so obviously you guys got into food blogging and your account blew up. You guys started in 2019. So talk a little bit about that too. It's not easy to do that on top of your full day job, your morning job. And so, how you guys just did that for fun, and what inspired you guys to get into that?
Yeah, we owe Food People Love to being children of Haitian and Filipino families who introduced us to flavor and seasoning and good food, from a young age. We've always loved food, always been foodies. I remember we have photos of us as kids, just eating, you know what I mean? And so always, finish your plate type, type family cultures. So Food People Love was born in 2019. And we were living in Charleston at the time. Like I said, being in Colorado and then Charleston, and just being able to take opportunities to travel to, at that point, I think Japan, we had traveled to Costa Rica, and just trying foods more and more. And I think as we kind of delved deeper into that, we got into Yelp, and then Yelp was like, oh, I'd like just putting our passions into Yelp reviews. And everyone, we always tell the story, but it's we would get into our reviews, and then eventually Danessa got her Yelp Elite, and then I was like, okay, cool, Danessa got it. I was like, all right, my time is coming. And I just remember the Yelp rep was like, hey, Darren, you're doing good. We need a little bit more out of you. And then I was like, man, forget it. I'm done. Because I really more so cared about the photos and the imagery. And so eventually, I was +1 for all her Yelp Elite events. And so it was cool, just enjoying it and kind of being among the foodies in Charleston a little bit. But one day, a light bulb went off in Danessa's head, and she was like, hey, why don't we start a food blog like Instagram, and maybe we can become food critics or something. And at the time I was like, that sounds like a lot of work. I just like the food, and we just kind of, it was ruminating in our heads more and more. And then we just kind of pulled the trigger in 2019, and then we started our Instagram. I think very humble beginnings. It was just, we started putting photos out, and I don't think there was a lot of growth until we moved to Tampa. I think. And babe, you're in the comments. Like, let me know if I'm saying that. She usually corrects me, if I'm off on details and dates. But yeah, in 2019, that's when we started. But it didn't really start getting more successful, I think, until we moved to Tampa. And I think that's just kind of representative of, we're Florida kids, like we love the culture here, and just Charleston was cool, but I think Tampa and like Florida is kind of where our heart is. She's from West Palm Beach, I'm from Jacksonville, and so she said correct so far.
Yeah.
But being here in Tampa, just the so much diversity and cultural cuisine, heavy Latino influence, and there's more Filipino spots here than there were in Charleston.
I'm so surprised. Like, because I joke that I'm 12 years new in Florida, and I'm from California, and that's like another
right.
mini Manila in San Francisco. Like, yeah. So no, it's been pleasant to see that Jacksonville has a strong Filipino community. Tampa has a strong Filipino community. More. I guess you can say we're growing here in Florida.
Yeah. I'd like to see more. But that's it's been cool to just have more, for Danessa and I living here. So that's been great. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Food People Love is it's about food, finding great food. But we also love, genuine, authentic relationships and building community. And so being able to do that through our page, just bringing people together, having just even our friends and family come together to eat and try spots together and kind of put content out there. And ultimately being a blessing to the businesses that we encounter. It's been really cool to support small businesses, family-owned businesses that have really great products, really great food, really put their heart and soul into their food, but might not have the best, exposure. And so being able to do that through Food People Love it's been amazing. Like it's even better than just having great food. Like when we hear testimonials of like, hey, we got more customers today, or hey, like we got lines out the door.
I love that.
It just makes our heart, full. Because if we could just play a small part in doing what we already love doing, and kind of like I said, being a blessing to your business, it's just fulfilling in a different way.
Yeah, I love how influencers really do make an impact, and it takes a lot, to be able to manage content like that. And then at the same time, eventually when you grow the following that you have, like now you actually can make a difference. And so thank you, Darlene. Yeah. Support local. I love that. And so you guys take great pictures too. I think that's what made a difference too, with, there's accounts that take the time to make great photos. You guys have really cool, bright color photos. Are you the one taking the photos, or both of you?
Oh, we both are. Yeah, we compete. I think between Danessa and I, we compete about who gets the we're very competitive. Whether it's a game night or we're shooting content. She's like, give me that. Like the lighting, this or the angles, or sometimes like, hey, can you do your manual thing? Hey, auto. And so we collaborate together, and so we both share it.
Awesome. And so where do you think you've gotten, like, when you started seeing that it was more than a couple thousand, and where did you find momentum? Because you have you have what? How many 60,000? I have some numbers, but you have at least for Instagram, 20. Let me see.
I think Instagram it's 46.
Oh yeah, 46,000.
Yeah, TikTok I think is in the 60s.
I think that's where I saw the 60. I think for sure TikTok y'all have. Okay. And then you have like 1 million likes on TikTok.
Oh, you found that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
Thank you. Awesome. So yeah, my answer is going to be and I might be wrong on this, but there was a video that we put on TikTok. So I think during a pandemic and like TikTok, being like huge, I think that's one of the moments where we kind of had like a big hit on one of our posts. And if I'm not mistaken, one of our biggest posts was during there's a trend where I think her name is an artist named Stacey Ryan, and it's like a song where she's like, please don't text me when you're drunk, and then it's like and she sings, and there's like an instrumental, and then people would rap on it or just like do things like on that. And so we had come back from a trip to Greece, and then I just kind of had this idea like, hey, why don't we like make a rap to this, and just like rap over it while overlaying imagery of our travels in Greece. And so just kind of put something together. And Julia, I tell you, it's so funny when we think about that memory, because for one thing, like I said, like we collaborate, and we also, like, my wife and I, like, we'll butt heads about creative, whatever. And so there was just time to record the audio for this video. We had put, the video together on TikTok. We pulled over on the side of the road, and then in order to block out sound, we took a blanket in our trunk, put it over me while in the driver's seat, while pulled over.
Wow.
And had the phone and like a second phone just like recording while I did the rap of over this beat. And so I did it, and then literally the next morning, it just started blowing up, and people were like liking the rap, and then people were like, hey, like, can you share your itinerary to Greece? Hey,
oh wow.
Yeah, just all these things. And so yeah, we still waiting on our check from Greece, on a little bit of tourism. I'm just kidding. But no, it was cool. And then like when that happened, yeah, I think the growth just started trickling in. And for me, at least, I just felt a lot more like confidence, and like, hey, like we're doing like a lot of cool stuff on the page. So
that's so cool. Yeah, I mean, for people, like, if in case people are wondering, you have a website.
Yes.
Pleasure to be able to share this, because I know you said it just went live.
Live as of yesterday. Thank you.
Nice, getting professional. So, like, when did you start? Like, when did people start asking you, "Hey, can we, pay you, sponsor a post, that kind of thing"? Are you already starting to monetize?
Yeah, we are. As of, I think, the past maybe 2 or 3 years.
Nice.
Steadily getting more and more opportunities from different brands or marketing agency collaborations. And so, yeah, it has started happening, and we're very grateful and very blessed for that. And I just think the part that we care about, or that we're cognizant of, is not just accepting every collaboration, but only the stuff that like we really believe in, or products that we'd actually enjoy. And I think that's kind of part of like our overall kind of the way we operate, which is, it's very much important that we support small businesses, and the kind of helping stimulate the local economy, and in the way that we can, from restaurants to excursions around here in Tampa and beyond. But at the same time, we very much have just it on our heart to honor our followers and bring them to places that we believe serve good food, and we believe is a fun experience, and not just take any opportunity, even if the pay is nice. And so whenever we can find that sweet spot where we can support a business, and we think our followers really like it, we usually go for it. So
that's awesome. It's authentic. You're not like just doing it for the money kind of thing. It's obviously to support the businesses. And you even, like, it's not just restaurant owners. I saw that you also do, like, was this a cooking show that we saw here? A cooking class?
Yeah. Every time we travel, this is just like a post we did while we were in Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. This was last year. We try to take an anniversary trip, or in the spring every year. So this was last year, 2023. Yeah, 2023.
I mean, last year's 2023.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure if it's 2022 or 2023. Yeah, very crazy. But we, when we first went to Japan, we took a cooking class there with this very sweet older Japanese woman who just invited us into her kitchen, just us and her. And she took us through like some very traditional, like homemade cooking type stuff. And it was so amazing. And kind of from there, we were like, we never want to go to a country and not experience the culture in this way, from food, and then, really getting into something authentic. So In Cabo, that was like a fun one we did, where a local chef put together like a really bomb menu of just dang, what did he make?
How did you
I
find
don't
them? Like,
know.
how'd you reach out to them and say, "Hey, we want to cook with you"?
Yeah, I mean that was like a group cooking class on that one.
Oh,
So I don't remember if that was an Airbnb experience
yeah,
or maybe we just found them on Google. But they seemed
cool.
pretty high rated. But it was a really fun time, and
Wow.
but it was cool. The cool thing about it, and talking about delving into culture is before we started cooking, they took us on the van and like we left to go to like the local market. And we've got fresh ingredients, fresh meats, veggies, and he divided us all up like, hey, you guys are in charge of grabbing this, and then we grabbed it, and then came back. Oh, and then we went to tortilleria to get like fresh tortillas, and so just like really taking us through like the experience of like what they do to cook their
Yeah.
meals, and so that was great. We took it back, cooked it together, and margaritas, and all that kind of stuff. So it was a blast.
Genuine, authentic experience. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, that's the fun thing about like doing stuff with things you love, which is like food and creating content, video. You have video skills, and also you get to do this with your wife, which is
yeah,
awesome. You guys are having a lot of fun and a blast. Like, enjoy
for
this
sure,
time
for
for
sure.
sure. I know that we're getting close to the end of the time, but I would still like to ask you too, like just
Mhm.
growing up here, and being, I always mix it up, first generation, second generation, but
First.
like my parents moved in the 80s to California from the Philippines. And then for you, like how long were your parents here? Like when did they move out here and growing up in Jacksonville, was it like in
Mhm.
Jacksonville? It sounded like you had a good community, it wasn't too
Yeah. So this
remote.
is what so dates get this is where like dates is kind of tough.
Don't worry.
But yeah. So my dad's from Olongapo and then my mom's from Bicol. Um and so they got here at different times. But and they both had previous marriages. So but my dad, he was living in like the New England, Rhode Island area, Massachusetts,
Oh,
Providence, I think. And my mom, she had lived between, I think, she had experienced life in Oregon and North Carolina.
big changes.
Yeah, life happened and the story happened, and they met in Florida. Um, but yeah, it was actually really cool to kind of hear about their stories. And, I know I don't know the full story, but I remember there was a day when we were talking to my mom a couple years ago, and just kind of sharing like her journey to get here, and a lot of sacrifice and just like a crazy adventure, but it made me really appreciate, the life that she had, and the struggles that she went through, and how that kind of formed who she is today, and makes me appreciate like the way I was raised. And she had a hard life, growing up, in a lot of different ways. And
Mm.
so, just kind of thinking about her, and I think it's just something that just pops into mind is I remember being a first gen Filipino American kid, and I would have to. I would have to sometimes guard like my PlayStation, you know what I mean, or like you know what I mean, like if because my mom she's just so family minded, thinking about her family back home, and so just wanting to share a little bit of this like American life with them.
Oh,
And so I remember like the balikbayan box that she would like try to fill, and then like one day I come home before she sends it, and I see like my PlayStation in there. So I'm like, mom, no! And so like I got so mad, but looking back I could laugh, but it's like that's just kind of her mindset of like, hey,
yeah.
we share, you know what I mean, and this is how we love in our family back home. Quick plug: Vanessa and I are going to the Philippines for the first time this spring, and so
Nice.
very very excited. Just a lot of
Yeah.
emotions with that, and so yeah, I don't think we really had the means as a family to take all of the kids, to go to the Philippines growing up. So
Yeah.
better late than never. But I'm excited to go and kind of explore and experience it on my own, as an adult with my
Yeah.
wife, and so we'll be doing some exploring out there. So I'm excited.
Yeah, so you're going to be sharing content. Like, I'm guessing you guys are going to try food and
Oh
reshare
yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah.
Like, people need to follow you. I know I've been sharing their handles like throughout, and then you're dabbling with YouTube, which I think is also great.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so if like as a business, if anybody wanted to collab with you, what do you want them to do? Like, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can hit us up any of these ways. You could hit us up. We just had our website, Food People Love, Food People Love spelled LUV .com. And so definitely come through, show love, hit us up, and we have contact forms on there. If not, DM us on Instagram, TikTok. Our Gmail is the same as our name at gmail.com, Food People Love. So yeah, just reach out to us. We'd love to connect with you and see how we can collaborate. And yeah, definitely just spread love, spread joy.
This is awesome. Thank you so much. And see, like, my business side wants to ask one more question to wrap. If you were to encourage any Filipinos out there, Filipino entrepreneurs, like, what would you say to them? If you were to tell your younger self too, like just starting, what would you say to them? And then we can wrap up.
Yeah. I'll say, as someone who has struggled with imposter syndrome for so much of his life, and it still, it still tries to attack me in different ways to this day. But I've come a long way with it. But just know that you have a purpose. Know that God created you with a purpose, is what I believe. That's my firm conviction. And that don't let lies or fear tell you that you can't do things. Just know that you have an innate purpose and that you're loved, and definitely chase your dreams. And God loves you. That's what I want to say.
I love that. That's the best way to end it. Thanks, Danessa, for being awesome, being in the audience, and that was awesome. We wish you were here. Like, would love to have you guys on again and talk about your trip next time.
Yes.
And man, this is awesome.
Yes,
I would love
thank you,
to
Julia.
connect with y'all. Like, maybe we should meet up sometime in Tampa and just eat some
Please.
food.
Oh,
I
for
love
sure.
food too. So
there we go. Fast friends, just like that.
Exactly. That's what I love about the Filipino community. Thanks for watching, everyone, and definitely support Darren and Danessa.
Support Julia, Holly, creative.
Thank you. Yeah, I seriously am gonna collab with past guests and potential future guests to do an event, and it would be awesome if we do something really cool. So, anyways, thanks for joining, Darren. I really appreciate it. This was awesome. I'm going to say, I didn't tell you this earlier, but when I click on end stream, I'll see you on the other side. Okay. So don't
All right, for sure.
quite hop off. All right, guys. See you guys later.
Everyone.
Bye.